right. Mr. Drew Karsh is already saying, hey, hey. Everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the weekly BrYangle report. Today is a fun show because it's the Christmas special. So you can see it's a little bit different in here. This week, I'm calling it the 12 Days of Pics-mas. It's like an advent calendar for photography. So I'm going to be giving 12 challenges that are very easy, quick. You can do it in a day, in an hour, in a minute kind of challenge. I'm going to do a couple of them here because, nothing like a live show for doing a photo demonstration. Nothing can go wrong here. But 12 tiny challenges that should keep you inspired over the holidays. Now, we all know there is a challenge currently, which is Ghost in the Machine, just to remind everybody. We're not reviewing that until February 4th. We have December, taking the month off for the most part, except for the 12 Days of Pics-mas, and then we have January to work on that. So the ghosts, you can do that later, Ghost in the Machine. But for this month, what I've tried to do is prepare these fun little things like an advent calendar that for the next 12 days, if you do these one a day for the next 12 days, on December 22nd will be your last day. You can still come in and print on our kiosk and do like a series of these photos if you really like what you've done. Maybe if you do the full set, we'll give you a free set of prints. If you just come in for one or two prints, that's great. Still love to see it. So as I say, some of these little challenges I'm going to be doing live here on the set. Some of them, most of them, are for you to play with and interpret and have some fun with. But as always, folks, there is a Did You Know this week. And this week's Did You Know is Holiday Bokeh has a cheat code. I say bokeh, and everybody thinks I'm saying it weird. Everybody goes bokeh. It's actually from Japanese word bokeh. So bokeh is the right word to say, way to say it, everybody. Anyway, that said, what it is are those little blurry lights in the background, the glow. The actual definition is the visual quality of the out-of-focus areas of a photographic image, especially as rendered by a particular lens. So lenses that have brighter apertures, big open holes, you're going to see a perfect round circle. But as you close those apertures down a bit, you're going to start to see the shape of the aperture. So some lenses have, different shapes, hexagons, octagons, stars you can even put in to the aperture ring and make your own bokeh shape. So it's a lot of fun to play around with this effect. If you close your aperture down a couple stops, you'll start to see that a little bit more. And if you keep on going and you close that aperture to like f8, 11, f16, all the little lights that you see will turn into starbursts, which is a whole different kind of fun. So to create that bokeh in your photo, try it on tree lights, try it on street lights, any sparkle you see in this season. So if you see my wife, Shelly, she will sparkle like a glowing bokeh because she's sparkly. So this is just a fun little cheat code for you all to play with. Have fun with the bokeh out there. It's cool, it's weird, and more importantly, it's fun. All right. What's new? Ain't got time for that. We got no time for what's new this week. So I'm going to move past it and get to what's used, because what's used is all of this stuff. Now, this isn't all necessary for these photos, but I've got it kind of sectioned out into the little thing, the calendar, the advent calendar gimmick, I guess you can say. So we've got, on day one light wonder. Got a little aperture MC. Fun little light that I'll show you a live demo in just a minute. For number two, I've got the film frame. So we have lots of cool films to work with, like this Harman red film, something that a lot of people don't know much about, but it's a really cool thing, especially over the holidays where your colors are red-green. That red glow of the film can really tell a different story. But there's so many kinds of films. There's disposable cameras. There's the Phoenix Project film, which actually we have the original Phoenix here in our store. They've just come out with a new version, so this is kind of like a limited edition now. Interesting tones, and we have that in 120 and 35 mil. Day three, we have somewhere right here, the memory keeper. I'll explain all these in a minute, guys. I'm just showing you some of the stuff. Now for memory keeper, I've got like a memory card holder from Peter McKinnon, the Nomadic series memory card holder. Or you can go to the normal Optex memory case if you'd like something a little bit more straightforward. I don't know, I like that Peter McKinnon one. You have one of those, don't you, Juan? Yeah, it's super convenient. But also like a blower or a lens pen. Things that you can use to clean things, and you'll see why I have that here in just a minute, and the lens cloth and so on. Number 4, we have color outside the lines, which I think is hilarious because it's the only card that I printed where it actually went outside the lines on the card, which is just ironic and weird. But anyway, color outside the lines is the challenge, and I've got the Aperture MC Pro because it's a little bit brighter, or the Godox TL30 light tube. Again, I'll show you how this all applies in a few minutes. And these aren't the only things you can use for these challenges. Don't forget, photography is 90% creativity, 10% other stuff. That's an official quote. You can use that. So there's all kinds of other things too. So that was number 4. Number 5, the story of 2. You're going to be taking a walk. You're going to be going out and about and seeing what you can see. And I've got a Peter McKinnon Nomadic case, and I've got this one because of this feature right here. You can be out shooting and literally pull this little tag, hook it on the back of the bag, and you can still kind of get to your stuff if you have to without everything falling out as you're on a walk. So it makes things a little bit more convenient to just reach in and grab things without having to zip it and seal it and do all that. These little Peter McKinnon bags are great. Plus he worked here, which is even cooler. Better battery cases because you're going to need to bring a couple batteries with you, or even some batteries. We have the third-party batteries. We have the original batteries. Definitely something you want to have. And if it's wet and rainy, the story of 2 may also be good having the little Bubble Boy bag so you can keep your camera dry if you're out there. Now, day 6 is going to be the quiet frame. I'll explain that more later. But for that, I've got a Godox transmitter, a Godox receiver on my Nikon flash, just showing how you can fire off camera real easily. I'll go into that. Or even just one of the little Aperture bulbs. These are bulbs actually you can hold it like this and it would light up, and you can use it in your light socket and change the colors of it through the app. It's a pretty convenient thing. So the quiet frame, we're going to talk about some of those things. Number 7, I'm going to have my friend Juan here help me out, and we're going to do the magic bounce trick with this Godox flash that we have right here. For day 8, we have the analog holiday, and I'll explain. Don't worry. I'll tell these things to you later. But for that, I have a lot of camera straps and things that you can hold your gear. Pretty straightforward stuff, nothing too flashy. And number 9, we have the good noise, where I've got the Rode Wireless Pro microphones that I'm going to talk about a little bit. A fun little photo audio thing that you could work on. Day 10, we're getting to the end here, small storyboard. I'll explain couple photos that you make that relate to each other, but I'll explain that a little bit more. And 11 and 12 are all pretty straightforward. 11, the glow up, basically looking at your old photo that you've already made for the challenge and redoing it, seeing it with a new vision a few days after you've made it. Maybe that might open you up to a new idea with the other challenges that you partake in. Or day 12, the holiday hero shot. I'll get to it in a minute. But that's the rundown, and these are some of the things we're going to be using today, including like a tripod I have here. This is the Manfrotto 190 tripod with a cool head that's going to allow me to move this camera in positions that normal tripods won't. All good stuff. And if you have questions, again, guys, this is a live show. Write them in the chat that I'm going to go to in just 1 second and see if anybody has anything to say. Are you watching one?
Yeah. So we just had a question.
Hang on 1 second, buddy. Let me give you this. There you go.
So I tried to help Mike a little bit out, but he was asking, for the bokeh, do you need a subject in front, or can you just do f8 and shoot the lights on the tree, for example?
That's a good question. Bokeh is really the out of focus areas. So you're not focusing on the light itself. Again, to read the definition of bokeh, it is the visual quality of the out of focus areas of a photographic image. So if you're focused on me, all the little glints in the background are going to show as the orb. So no, you're not focusing on those. You're focusing on your subject and having that in the background to give you that visual element.
I was even recommending to switch your lens from automatic focus to manual focus.
Yeah.
And just try going back and forth to the point where the lights go out of focus.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Right? That's all you need, really.
Yeah.
I've been doing that at home quite a bit, and it's always fun. Even if you put a filter.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Juan.
I'm back.
He's back. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Anything else?
That's it for now.
Okay, good. So Juan will let me know if anybody else has anything to ask. Mike, thank you for that question. Great job. Okay, moving along. So that was our Did You Know? We talked about that, what's new, what's used. And again, these products aren't essential for you guys to do what you want to do. They just may make things easier. Plus, I thought I'd talk about them now so that when I'm doing the stuff and talking about the stuff, I don't need to be selling things, because that's not what the show's all about. The show's about photography and inspiration and giving you some fun things to work on. Again, little reminder, Ghost in the Machine, February 4th. It was at this place in my notes. I talked about it already. Moving forward. Okay, so here's the concept explainer. Here's the whole point of why I wanted to do this. This year I got my wife a little advent calendar. I don't do it every year. I'm kind of ish, so I don't really follow all the rules that I should. So I finally got her this advent calendar, and she was so happy. And you open up the doors, and of course all the chocolates inside moved around, and it was a bit of a pain, but whatever. I digress. I wanted to do a photography advent challenge. What if you had 12 straight days of making a very easy photo where you're enjoying photography, you're thinking differently. You can even plan ahead. You want to do this one this day, and you want to do another one a different day. You can mix them up, change them up, whatever you want to do. But having 12 very straightforward little challenges is something to work toward, to build to. And over this season, when the world is crazy, it's a place where we as photographers can go and relax and find our happy place in the middle of the crazy. So I hope you all see it this way. Remember, it's not a contest. It's more of a photo warm-up for your brain, just to get you going, just to get you thinking. So I'm going to go over the 12 Days of Pics-mas with you. Some of them I will take a picture here. In fact, the first one, One Light Wonder, I'm going to do right now. And to help you see what all this does, I'm going to share my screen. I've got my Lightroom open, and I'm going to do some tethering to my Lightroom. So hopefully this all goes well. And here we are. So right now you just see the black box, which is what my camera is kind of, well, what last picture it saw. I'm just going to take a quick picture here and show you what I have in front of the lens. So this is just a mug. Here's the mug, just a mug. And when you take a picture of something as simple as a mug, and that's really the whole point of this challenge, it is use one single light to make something ordinary look extraordinary. It could be a coffee mug, it could be your keys, it could be a plant, it could be a camera strap, it could be anything within arm's reach. Just reach and grab something, and it could be kind of fun. It's ordinary. But how do you make it look a little bit more extraordinary? Well, lighting goes a long way for doing that. And to do this, the One Light Wonder challenge, I'm going to use the Aperture MC. I'm just going to turn this on here on my phone. Why? Because I can. There we go. And any color you want to make it, I'm just going to go white to start, because it's just going to show you how something as simple as putting a light right beside something can make a huge difference in the photo. So just took another photo here, and that pops up, and now we have a different dynamic. If I move the light to the top, it looks different still. If I change the color of the light, now we're getting a different feeling again. If I were to take the light and put it directly behind to outline, completely different photo once again. So that is the challenge, the One Light Wonder. Find something that you have lying around the house that you want to take a picture of, and light it in a way that's a little bit more interesting than the normal that you would have seen. Pretty straightforward. First demo successful. No, didn't even try. That's still to come. Oh, that's still to come. Look at you jumping ahead. Look at you. All right. And now again, that challenge right there, the goal is to just learn that you don't need big lights. You don't need soft boxes. You don't need a lot of muss to do it. You don't even need the app. I just have it wired up to all the other lights in the studio here. I just thought I would use it for what I'm doing. So the next thing is the film frame. Now for that, I don't need to have that up there. So let's get rid of that. The film frame is day 2. Now for this, on film, make one photo. Now, originally, where I first heard of this challenge, it was make one photo. That's it, you're done. I'm kind of a guy, like, I don't like to waste film. So if you've got a 24 roll exposure in there, make one photo of each intentional photo you're trying to make. Don't make 2 photos to get 1 shot. Think about it. What photo am I trying to make? What angle should I shoot from? And wait until you have that one scenario set up properly and just go click. Then a new photo and so on and so forth. But the challenge is 1 photo, it's 1 day. Feel free to use up the rest of your film, but don't do it just one after the other for that same photo. That's the goal. We're trying to make it something you care about, something that feels seasonal, a moment you want to freeze in time, or even a self-portrait. It can be anything you want it to be. It's honestly not about making a good photo as much as it is about just trying it and having an experience and focusing what you're trying to do to be purposeful with your photography. All right, day 3, the memory keeper. So if you've already seen on the Facebook Bryan Weiss page, I've already listed all of the 12 things. So you can go there and download those right away so you can follow along. If you haven't seen that, I will post it in the YouTube description as soon as the show is complete. I didn't want to give away all the secrets in advance. But all of these, day 1 through day 12, are going to be listed right there so you can get those anytime and remember. So the memory keeper is day 3. Pick 1 meaningful object, something with history, something with maybe a personal connection, something that means something to you, has some sentimental weight to it. I'm going to use something from my father. There we are. This is my father was a scuba diver, and this is an old prop that he found while diving. And I just love how it's got, it's brass, it's heavy, it's got all this cool texture to it. It's very dirty, which is why, for the memory keeper, I have some cleaning things, like a cloth. When you're doing close-up photography of things, you are going to see every little detail. So by keeping things clean, get the dust off of there. Wow, there's actually a lot more dust than I thought. That was, my housekeeping skills are weak. Anyway, now I can position this in a way that I can make an interesting-looking photo. Let's see here. I will turn that tether back on so you can see this one more time. You're still seeing the mug, but it will change soon. So if I were to just take that picture right as it is, not exactly the texture I want, so I'd play. I'd move it around. I'd find what is it I'm trying to shoot on this. And I try and shoot it in a way that gives it a story, that where you can see the patina. You can see the big dent out of the end of this prop blade, maybe. I can get that and show you. Big old nick out of there. If I were to spend some time doing this, and you see, I don't know if you can see or not, but the tripod I'm using, it's got a ball head. So the whole thing pivots in any direction I want it to go into and just holds that position. So it's really convenient for, getting that exact position the way you want it. Head up, down, left, right, the legs kick out. So it makes that really nice and straightforward. But again, the challenge here is you want to photograph this in the most honest and character revealing way you can. Showing the texture, showing the wear and tear, showing the story that the object is telling if you can. Now, this is not a natural setting for a boat prop at all. I mean, you'd have other things. Maybe if you're home and you have the accoutrement to go with it, so to speak, you can make a different scene. So that's the goal, is we're going to capture the identity of an object, not just the shape of it, by using some lighting or using composition and taking your time and finding an interesting angle that works for that photo. So again, the challenge title is The Memory Keeper. So I hope you guys have some fun with that. Now for this challenge also, something I didn't mention that you can use is a wired remote control. For anytime I'm on a tripod, I really do like using the remote. You can just click it. It doesn't touch the camera at all. It's a very positive way of shooting. Everything just works every time. Wireless remotes are a little bit iffy with battery power and so on. Corded remotes just always work. There's no battery. Any questions, Juan? All right, guys. Moving on. Okay, so the next challenge is color outside the lines. Now this one is going to be fun. I'm going to do a little demonstration of this one too. So for color outside the lines, I have another one of my father's artifacts that he's picked up along the way. I don't even really know what this is. It's some kind of horn. Anyway, What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the Aperture MC Pro. I'm just going to use this TL30 as like a balance and a little bit of fill light. So I'm just going to set these things down here. There we go. And let's turn those suckers on. Strobe Pro. I got that red. Let's make that a bluish purpley color. And then I'm going to go and turn on the tube. And there we go. That's like a greenish color. So by changing these colors and getting a different kind of design layout, you can tell a different story. And again, color outside the lines is the challenge. So it's about the color and it's about how you shoot it and what you're going to capture. And I'll do a quick photo of that here. And I'll just show you how the color impacts the shot. Now, settings wise, my shutter's way too slow. So if I speed that up, it's going to filter out all the glow. It's going to give me a little bit better color, a little bit richer tone, and the next shot will represent that. Coloring outside the lines, I could take color and I can wash the background with it. I can bring another light in, like even this aperture light here, and just come in from behind. If I want to get really creative, I don't know if this is really creative or just doing stuff.
Use complementary colors or
yeah. Juan is saying use complementary colors. So if you're going to go red and yellow,
like orange,
blue, there we go. So let's actually do an orange in the back, have blue coming from underneath. Try that one more time. There you go. Now this is obviously a very quick demo, guys. The point is, the challenge is to color outside the lines. So make a warm and inviting photo, make things cold and distant by using the color, make them bold or dramatic by outlining. I thought this would be kind of cool because it's translucent. You can see through the bone, I think it is, of some kind. I thought that would show neat. Again, you can change that color from underneath and make it a little bit more contrasty. Go red, give it a little bit more of a glow.
Looks like an ornamental shafar, says Mike.
Thanks, Mike. It's an ornamental shafar. My father would be very upset with me if I didn't know what it was. But this is a goal and a challenge to help you understand how color changes your storytelling. So color outside the lines, have fun with it, ladies and gentlemen. Should be fun for you. Okay, let's get rid of that screen share here again. Day 5, story of 2. Now, story of 2 is an interesting thing. We're creating 2 images that belong together through some sort of contrast. So you can do light versus shadow, or you can do loud versus quiet, or messy versus tidy, old, new, smooth, textured. So many different ways of taking 2 images that are showing a contrast and then making them kind of work together in your photo. And this isn't something I'm going to do a demonstration of here. This is just something you guys can interpret and try and have fun with. Maybe go for a walk with your camera. Maybe see what you can find out there in the beautiful snow that we have just got. Be safe. Of course, wear your big cleats, shoes, and all that kind of stuff so you don't slip and fall. But ultimately, go out, make some photos, find 2 things that are telling a story. You could use the snow and you can use glass with no snow on it. There's a contrast right there. There's so many different ways you can approach this. And I just want to see you all go out there and have fun. And don't forget, if you are going to be outside, get that rain sleeve because cameras don't always like water. Not the best thing for you. Bring a couple extra batteries because it is cold outside, and that's why we have these things up here on the shelf. And have your nice case that you like to work with that's comfortable for you. And again, the creative goal here is to learn how contrast can communicate meaning without words at all. Just the contrast itself is going to communicate the meaning of your photo by what you choose. All right, we're on to day number 6, which is the quiet frame. Now, the quiet frame is an interesting one. It's going to take a bit of thought for some people. For me, my brain instantly goes to a room full of family where everybody's milling around, and you have one person kind of chilling by themselves over in the corner, just having a moment to themselves, recuperating, getting their strength back, or who knows what else they've gone through over the holidays. I just remember myself back when I used to work at my last job. You work all day, every day for November through December, and you get one day off for Christmas, and I just passed out every week, every year. I would just fall asleep and be non-existent. So that would be it. Everybody running around having Christmas, and there's Bryan fast asleep on the couch with a retail coma. So find that moment of calm inside a creative or a chaotic environment. You look for subtle light, look for simple shapes, soft textures, negative space. These are all things you can use tools to make your photo feel more quiet. And that's really what we're looking for. It could be a rocking chair sitting there with nobody in it. It could be any number of things that you can think of that represent a quiet time amongst chaos. What's also fun if you were to do a long exposure like Juan was talking about earlier and have a bunch of stuff moving around where there's one thing very static. That's going to be the calm place for that environment. All right, and again, the creative goal there is to learn how to simplify a frame until the emotion becomes serene. Now, number 7, I'm going to ask Juan to step into my office here, and I'm going to remove this remote control, put that there, and I'm going to do a portrait here of Juan. There we go. And I'm simply just going to use a flash on camera. Now, let me see if simply actually makes sense. There we go. Yoink. Take that shoe off. By the way, this one's Dave. I name my flashes. I name everything. Okay. All right. So I've just got the flash on TTL. I'm going to put the camera into program mode because a Z8 does not have auto. And I'm going to do a simple picture head-on flash onto Juan right here. Actually, hang on. Before I do that, Juan was smiling and everything. You were looking great, dude. I got to tether this so everybody will see the shot. There we go. You're such a good-looking dude. All right, there we go. So there's the photo. Oh, the flash didn't fire. Great. Now I got to figure things out. Flash. Bracketing flash. Well, why isn't the flash firing?
Does anyone have any questions or comments in the meantime?
I think I know what it is. Flash, flash. That's not going to fire because I don't have the flash turned on the camera, I don't think. So I'm going to hand this to Juan and let Juan work that out. If I use my camera, it would fire immediately because I'm always using flash with that. But this one here is a little different. We're going to figure that out. Move on to the next one for now. We'll come back to the bounce magic trick in just a second. Day 8. Let's get rid of this screen share. There we go. Live TV, analog holidays, also known as the no cliche holiday. Everybody goes out there and takes these holiday photos of the Christmas tree lights and Santa stuff and wrapped gifts and twinkle lights and all these amazing Christmas. Bryan's gagging with a spoon over here. This is not the challenge that we're doing here. The challenge here is winter textures, nostalgic objects, warm hands holding something, something that's very analog, I guess you can say. An analog holiday, right? Something real, a scarf on a chair, something that represents warm, steam from a mug rising. All of these things are really giving you that creative goal of finding the feeling of the holidays without photographing obvious symbols. So that could be a lot of fun for you. Right. You got it?
So we'll have to leave it in manual flash power
Okay.
for now.
Oh,
That's the only way it fired. I don't know.
interesting. I was going to try my Nikon to see if that would work, but all right, for now, let's plug in the USB one more time and do some tethering.
Just give it a test shot there.
That's a flash. That's a flash. And the flash that we can actually do on the hill. Bryan, that's not the flash we can do on the show. Okay, so here, let me move to the side so you can see I'm actually taking a picture. Here we are, Juan's in the frame, boom. Then I'm just simply going to, and you can see the photo's kind of stark. Now I'm going to bend the flash to the side and see if I can bounce some of that light to him. And whoops, let's try one more time. It was very dark. So why don't I bounce card that? There you go. See if I can bounce it instead of being straight at him. There we go. Lovely. A little bit brighter and much more natural looking, not so harsh, not so direct. Now, if you were to stand over toward me here, Juan, and I were to try this one more time, straight on versus bounce with a wall there. Now, let's go a little wider, straight on. Okay, that is very bright now. Tilted and bounced a little bit better. Almost good. The point being, simply moving light from direct to the side is enough to change your entire image and give you more clarity and give you more contrast and a little bit smoother. So, what?
Oh, was there a dial that you just moved over?
Yeah, I just slid it over so now that everybody can see without that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's the bounce challenge. It's a lot of fun when you get to have a party with a bunch of people and you're walking around the room and you're taking pictures of everybody and you're taking their shot and you're like, oh, this is so bright. Just bounce it off the ceiling, bounce it off the wall. Take that flash and move it to the side. It's going to make a huge impact on the directionality, on the exposure. It's going to fill in shadows. What are you thinking? Make you warmer because the flash is bright? No?
Even removing the flash off the camera using the trigger and moving it around.
And that, my friend, is part of, actually I should have talked about this in the quiet frame, but that's actually what I was going to get into as well. The next step in the quiet frame, if you wanted to, and I should have mentioned this when I was talking about it, is to have like this person sitting in the room, and then maybe, if you get the opportunity, kind of sneak over somewhere and take a flash and just kind of on a stand with a little receiver and the ability to turn that on. There we go.
Party
Pop,
shots
pop.
are always good like that.
You got it. Then you can put a flash up here, and then I can shoot from over here. Let's pull that back so you can see this one more time. There you are. And now I can have that flash shine directly to Juan, but first we put the transmitter on. There we go. Make sure it fires. There it is. And don't look at the light, Juan. Lovely. There we go. So now it's obviously I changed some settings and get it going, but now you can take that flash and you can move it all over the place. And even if you were to put this behind you, there you go. Well, just to outline you, to get like a rim light.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, it's like behind you. Here, Brian's going to help.
Okay.
There you go. So one step, yeah, Bryan, move over here. And behind his body. There you go. And I can see Brian's head poking out the back there. But now we're getting that silhouette, that light coming from behind. And it's just a very straightforward way to fire that flash off camera to tell different stories. All right. What's that, Bryan?
Will this work on any flash?
Yeah.
How much
Yeah.
is it?
Well, transmitter receivers, the transmitter that I'm using is about $70, $80. That receiver is about $60 to $80. The two work together. You just buy the Canon for your stuff and it's perfect. Canon mount, I should say. Yeah, I have the Nikon versions, and you can tell the difference because the transmitter has an N where yours would have a C, right? So if you look on the top of this receiver, one R, and then it says N, that means Nikon. And then they make them for Fuji and Olympus and Sony and Canon. And yeah, they'll work with, I'm using a Nikon flash, firing from Godox stuff.
Can I say,
Yeah, you can say one thing.
when I was,
Hang on. You got to say it quickly because the show's almost over, Bryan.
when I was shooting stage plays, the direction of the light, the position of the light directs the attention of the audience.
Oh, yeah,
And that's exactly what you're trying to do here.
exactly. No, absolutely, you're right. And that's exactly it. I mean, you're trying to highlight something to show the audience the story you're trying to tell, right? And lighting is so important and so powerful for those things. Like I've got a light over here to light up these things behind me. I've got a light here to light me up. I'd light a light from underneath to get rid of the shadow, but you know, this isn't a perfect world. Okay, day number 9, the good noise. This is a silly little thing. This is record a 10-second audio clip that you can just attach to a photo. So think about an interesting photo and think about what sound would go well with it. Maybe grab yourself a set of the Wireless Pro Rode microphones where you can clip it to anything, or the DJI mic like I'm wearing right now and I'm handing to Bryan and Juan. You just take one of these little microphones and you record snow falling, or you record paper crumpling, or footsteps in the snow crunching, your coffee brewing, or you know, a fuse crackling, or it could be anything, ambient hum of something, door creaking, a zipper on a jacket, something that you feel is going to go well with a photo. And then put them together, and there is a little story you're telling with audio and photo. So that's day number 9, the good noise. Almost done. Day number 10, the small storyboard. Now the small storyboard is a 3-frame story using a clear beginning, middle, and end. Bryan talks about this quite a bit. When you use imagery to tell a story, and you can have 3 separate images, you can get into all kinds of different examples. For example, making a coffee, you can have grabbing the cup. You could have putting the cup in the coffee maker, and you can have the coffee dripping into the coffee. Or you can have Shelly drinking the coffee and being super happy with coffee because Shelly loves coffee. You can have lacing up boots, where you get your boots from where they are. You put them down by your feet and then you tighten them. 3 separate photos. Stepping outside into the cold, the fear, ooh, going in the cold, and then putting on your coat, and then stepping in the cold and the fear, ooh, I'm in the cold. I mean, it could be anything, right? So think about 3 photos that tell one story, and the creative goal here is to practice sequence, pacing, and visual storytelling, not just a single image way of thinking.
You can try different focal lengths, different zoom.
Try different.
Close up.
Sorry, nobody can hear you unless you use this.
I was gonna say you can always try with different focal lengths. You can try using a macro lens to get a close up of your hands, tying the shoe, maybe a little bit wider angle to establish the shot, the setting, and then work from there.
Awesome, thank you.
Little tip.
Good tip, very good tip. All right, Bryan had an extreme thought, but we're gonna let him stew on that. He's already got it in his head what he's gonna shoot. Awesome.
I've already shot it.
Oh, you've already done it before? Uh-oh. All right, we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so at the end of our conversation here, guys, day 11 is called the glow up. And the glow up is literally take a photo you've just made for this challenge a few days earlier and reimagine it or re-edit it or reshoot it in a way with the new tools that you've learned from doing other challenges. That's the point of a challenge, is to open your mind up a little bit more. And then when you go back and look at one of the first ones you've done, maybe you think, I could have done that differently. Try it again, re-edit, do something like that. Look at what you did first, look at what you would do now, change the lighting, look at the framing, look at the mood you created, and see if you can tweak those things. And here the goal is literally just to see your own improvement in real time. And then the last one is your holiday hero shot. Now the holiday hero shot is your favorite photo. Think about something now that you've been taking some pictures, you've been having some fun, that really means something to you. Something that you want to print, something you'll give as a gift, something that you want to display somewhere in your home on a metal frame or a calendar or something. Something that looks great. It could be a portrait, it could be a still life, it could be a city moment, a winter detail, memory that you've had, something that really sparks your interest. Try and create an image that you are really proud of. And that is the final photo in our challenge. End the year with some intention, make something meaningful. And if you do happen to make every one of the 12 photo challenge photos, bring them into the store. Let's get them printed for you. 4x6, 5x7, up to an 8x12 here in the store. If you've done the full set, I've got permission from Aurora, the store manager, we will give you a full print, a full set of prints of your full set of photos. So you'll get 12 prints if you complete them all. I think that's a lot of fun. And don't forget, guys, if you start tomorrow, you'll be done by the 22nd. So you still have the 23rd and the 24th to come in and make some prints. We are open on the 24th until 4 o'clock, I believe, which is why we're not doing a show. It's another reason why we're not doing a show. So that reminds me, we only have one more show left before we go on break for a couple of weeks and come back in the new year. And that is going to be next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not going to tell you about it. It's going to be a surprise because I don't know yet. But anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. And no, I'm joking. I already have it all written. These shows have been so much fun for me to do. I want to thank Henry's and the crew downtown that let me get away with doing this little show. I really, really would love to hear some feedback. If you have an idea, if you've made a photo, if you're unhappy with the show, if you have a suggestion. There was one suggestion. I posted on I think it was the Nikon users group on Facebook that I was doing the show, and a woman gave a very good suggestion. She said she's a former fire marshal and she saw the cords on the ground and she thought there might be a fire problem here. And I was like, yeah, no fire problem. That was mostly USB cords. But anyway, thank you all for watching and for enjoying the show. If you have any more questions, let me know. And in the meantime, while you're making your photos, don't forget Henry still has some great sales ongoing. There's the Shop More, Get More, which is on until the 24th of December. Basically what that means is you spend a certain amount, you're going to get a little bit of a coupon that you can come in and use from January 9th to the 29th. Spend $2,000, you're getting $200. So good deal. Trade in, trade up is still on only until the 18th of December. That just means you get an extra 10% on your trade-ins. So if you have anything that you want to trade in, we're going to give you 10% beyond our normal trade-in rate if you come in before 18th. And also, if you are on henrys.com, scroll right to the bottom of the main page and check out Anthony's videos. He's just changed the layout. They're big. He's got some really cool videos on there to watch. Check those out. They're very informative. There's a whole new thing on the new Canon camera with the 45mm f1.2 lens, which we have in stock, which I'm stoked about. Yeah, we had it. Yeah, very cool lens. And that's it. See you all next week. Unless I go to the chat and somebody has something that they're saying. Let's just have a quick look. Looking forward to seeing all the wonderful photos. Thank you, Juan, for saying that. And it was a great show. Thank you very much. Let us know. Yeah, okay, cool. That's great. Again, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you all next time.